tale of two halves, Ellis. Can you talk about the difference?
Yeah, and it's not the first time. We seem to, sometimes we get off some bad starts, get things adjusted, players settle down, come back and play well. Obviously, y'all saw the first one, we were in a man pressure, we just turned the guy loose. We had another one, a similar situation. And, you know, the mistakes are really getting us in a hole. But the guys are playing with great effort. You know, I know it's important to them, trying hard, they're practicing hard. We're just making some mistakes sometimes that are uncharacteristic. You know, when we find the answer to that, we got to coach better, you know, play a little harder, coach better, coach smarter, something. But we've got to eliminate those 6 or 8 plays a game where we just don't make them earn it. I'm really proud of the way they finished. You know, I thought the last 3 or 4 series gave a chance to win, except, you know, one drive took too long. We held to a field goal. But there was some other plays along the way, too much time on the field, offense not having enough chance, you know, to get the ball. So pass rush disappeared again. And that's my biggest concern. You know, we got 1 sack. We knew coming into the game that our best chance to have a really good defensive day was make the quarterback uncomfortable. And how do you do that? You take his running game away, which we did very average, below average, being consistent with that. And then we didn't hit the guy. You know, didn't hit him enough, couldn't cause enough pressure on him. So I think that was the biggest thing, because that's what our big emphasis was coming in.
How many missed assignments, missed tackles you guys end up having? The blind eye seems quite a bit.
You know what, that's the thing that's been so frustrating. The missed assignments have come down, but they always seem to be real glaring. You know, turn a man loose in man coverage. You know, hit a blitz maybe and hit the wrong gap, trip up another guy, you don't get the pressure on the guy, and all of a sudden, now you can't cover for 5 seconds. It's just things that really causing a critical play at a critical time, but the overall missed assignments have really come down. The tackling this week was not good, and we have worked extremely hard. We went back open date, and we put a 5-minute tackling circuit in our practice routine, and we've done it every day, Tuesdays and Wednesdays since that time. It's got all aspects: open field, angle, you know, head up tackling, stripping the ball, everything. We got to coach it better, I guess. And I thought sometimes, you know, it's athletes that were making plays. I mean, Texas A&M got great skilled people. And again, we got to make the quarterback uncomfortable and quit letting him deliver it on time to have a good shot. But we had, I think we had 11 yards after contact that added up to 114 yards, something of that nature. And that's a lot of yardage. Of course, you're going to miss some on great players. But if you eliminate half of that, you know, get you off the field quicker, get your offensive ball back quicker, and helps field position and everything. So the players understand it. We harp on explosive plays, keeping runs under 15, keeping passes under 20, and then it'll add up at the end. It's hard for people to score without one of those, but we just keep finding a way to put them on the field.
Are you guys kind of searching for the right mix in the secondary? It seemed like there was even more rotation than usual last night.
Well, we got Whitehead back, and he didn't get a completely full week of practice, but he got most of it. And he was ready to go. He's a little rusty. He hadn't been in the game plan for, 3 or 4 weeks. But we got him back, and we definitely wanted to get an opportunity to play him and get him back in the lineup. So really the rotation back there was more of just trying to get some guys a blow. A lot of them are on special teams too. And just get them a break at the right times. And Mincy he had a back spasm, small spasm. We had to pull him off for a little while. TJ played pretty good when he came in. But most of the rotation was just trying to get a rest, you know, get somebody a break.
How did you evaluate Whitehead in his first game back? And to the second part of that, who had to kind of get past more in this whole process with him having him reinstated? Was it Cheese or you or Gus who had to kind of put?
No, it was Coach. Coach had a matter of steps and the procedures he had to do, and you know, he did everything. And obviously, head coach runs this football team, and you know, he did everything he was asked. And I'm more proud of him for what he did than the way he played. You know, it's great to have him back as a player, but I'm very proud of what he did over the last 3 or 4 weeks. And he did everything he was asked of him, and the players were total support of it. And you know, it's good to have him back out there. I hope it helps us as a football player, but I hope it helps him in a lot of ways. And it's certainly going to be good for us in that aspect.
How much do you think, how much can he potentially help the communications issues? I mean, players talked about communications issues again last night.
Well, it should be a big factor. he's the only one that's played back there at safety with any experience. You know, Rudy didn't play defense last year, and, of course, Moncrief was not even here last year. We've got Trevon Reed didn't play defense last year. And then Holsey missed half of last year, and we moved him from corner to safety. I hope the age and experience should be a big factor in that aspect. But the other thing it gives us now, it gives us some depth and some rotation at critical times. And guy has to come out of the game, or guy's not full speed. I think we can put a player on the field now, that's a quality player, not miss a beat.
Will he play more this week, do you think, than he did?
Well, I think as long as he has a great practice week, I think for sure.
Ellis with Todd Gurley coming back, and you've seen what they've done with Chubb, Georgia. Speaking of Chubb, he's had a fabulous run there himself. How much you focus on that run game?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be tough now. They've got two backs who can play the start for anybody, and they're both playing extremely, Chubb's played extremely well in Gurley's absence. And going back and looking at their early season films, it's just, Gurley's like a time bomb. When is he gonna get that 95-yard kickoff? When is he gonna hit that 40-yard run? When's he gonna catch that 35-yard screen pass? I mean, you gotta be exactly right on him every time, because he's gonna break the physical tackle, he's gonna outrun the space tackle. He's a specimen. I'm sure they'll be glad to get him back, and with those two guys rotating, staying fresh, it'll be really a big time challenge, and that's, of course, that's where it's all gotta start. But, they really do a great job of feeding off that running game. Hudson's playing his best ball right now, and when you got running backs that can run it, you gotta defend that, and he's making great decisions, checking them into passes, and he looks like a smart kid. They hadn't missed a beat, with the experience of losing a quarterback that started for him, I think, for 4 years. I think I coached against him at Carolina at least 1 year, maybe 2. And, they lost him and expected it to be tough. He looks like they hadn't missed a beat.
Ellis, when you are going up against a running back of this ilk, I mean, I know when you go up against mobile quarterbacks, you have a guy who's set to spy a quarterback who can do something. I know you can't necessarily spy a running back exactly, but when he does have catches out of the backfield and those things, can you assign one specific guy or two specific guys or something like that?
Not really. I mean, what you can do, hopefully study film, get some kind of tendency, what formations they run the ball out of and where they run it. The thing that Georgia does such a good job is it got balance. And when you see some things, you say, boy, they got a big tendency to do this, and all of a sudden there's a play that comes off of it that would counter whatever you're trying to do. But, there's 2 or 3 ways to try to do it. You kind of load the box, put your receivers, on your wideouts, on your DBs, in coverage, man-to-man. Or you can bring run blitzes, fire zones and run blitzes. And we'll probably have to try a little bit of everything. Nobody stopped him. And some of them slowed him down a little bit. The only guy that stopped him was the autograph guy.
Ellis, you said pass rush was the biggest concern. Is that more so than the coverage getting the secondary? Do you think the pass rush is the biggest issue?
It's both. It's hard to play coverage when you're not getting the ball out on time. And at the same time, we've had some guys left up wide open. And so, it's a combination of things. But the one thing that, we really just haven't generated a whole lot of pass rush.
Ellis, for 6 games, I guess, you guys played better than you played the last few weeks. Could you see that coming, that there were issues that were gonna get exploited?
No, I think, you gotta give credit to our opponents. Go back and look at the opponents. We've played probably 3 of the best quarterbacks, really 4 of the best quarterbacks until this week. Played 4 of the best quarterbacks, and they had come back, returning starters, knew how to operate. Sometimes I thought we did a good job out of Kansas State, but boy, it was a scramble. I mean, we had to play with, a lot of gambling defenses to try to stop that running quarterback, defensive backs did a good job. But if you go back, we're playing teams right now who have experienced starting, returning quarterbacks that are really good. You got Prescott, and we moved on to Ole Miss, and then what was in between them? Dillon. I mean, Steve throws the ball as well as anybody, ranked top 3 in the conference in most every offensive category. They've had a frustrating season, but they're one of the best offenses in that stadium. So we've just seen better offenses, and we got to step up our game. Seen a little bit better skill people this past game. Had a chance, with a young quarterback to hopefully make a difference, and we just gave him too many easy throws.
Couple more. Going off that, what were you seeing from Hudson Mason?
The thing that impresses me about him, he looks like he's about 25 years old. He's operating that offense. He's making great decisions. He's putting them in good plays. A lot of times when people are making great runs and look like they're blocking everybody, they are executing well, but a quarterback probably put them in a good play. And it just looks like to me that he's doing an excellent job of that. And when he is throwing the ball, he's very accurate. And the big running backs make you do some things and hopefully get some one-on-ones out there. But I mean, he had a fabulous game this past week, and Kentucky's played some good defense, you know, through the season. They've been pretty tough and a lot better than people expected. So, I mean, they are very balanced. And I know that, you know, losing a four-year starter, you know, is a big adjustment, but I think the kids picked it up, and right now their offense is really steaming.
Ellis, can you put your,
Is the confidence of your defense a concern at all right now, and are you having to do anything extra for them to help them with that?
You know, I don't see any confidence as a unit. You know, there's no air or feeling of confidence. If there's any individuals who have gotten frustrated, lost a little confidence, you know, I don't know of it. They know we're not playing well in certain situations, and maybe the coaching, we gotta find a better way to do it, teach it, maybe throw some stuff out, make it a little simpler. But they know when we come in on Sunday, we look at it and say, yeah, I know I messed that up or whatever, but it's too late. But I think we just gotta be more consistent. If that means cutting it back, if that means teaching better, we gotta find a way as coaches to get that done.
Ellis, how much of a challenge preparing for a team with Georgia who actually still uses their tight end a lot in the passing game? I think their freshman tight end's like the fourth leading receiver on the team, and they go to him in the red zone a lot.
It can be tough. They do that, plus they also, I just think they do a great job of changing tempo. You know, nobody thinks of Georgia as a fast-paced team, but they do a great job of speeding up and slowing down and changing their tempo. South Carolina was good at it. The thing about it is everybody's kind of developing their defenses now because the spreads and the pace are becoming what you got to play about 8 or 9 weeks. And so a lot of your stuff's geared towards stopping these teams that can line up real fast. Well, all of a sudden you play the teams that huddle or the teams that line up and motion guys across or pick up 3 guys and shift them over, and then they look at you for 10 seconds, then they look over to the coach and they get a play. And sometimes you know you're not the best thing you can be in, there's nothing you can do about it. The guys that run to the line of scrimmage, you got a defense, they stop, they walk around and talk, you change the defense. But these teams, sometimes their quarterbacks can get it done. And they are very, very difficult. And one of the harder teams, I think, to defend because of the balance.
All right.